Painful reminders. Mic test, mic test.
Now recording.
Mic test, mic test, mic test.
Recording.
There we go. Mic test, mic test,
Yeah.
mic test.
Definitely, it's not the. God damn it! Now they're showing up again. I don't
What's that?
know. I don't know how that gets reticked every now and then. The
Mic test.
bots, pop up in the video feed.
Oh yeah, on your they're
Like
on
it
your.
did to you.
They were in mine
They're-
like what
they're
2 or
like-
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, they haven't been in mine for like months, and now all of a sudden they want to show up.
The bots are invading.
It's like, fuck, man. You gotta go back in and uncheck the option there.
The bots are invading.
But yes, the days of the manual save.
Oof.
Or like you were saying that you might bring up shit checkpoints.
Oof.
God, I forgot what I was playing. Oh gosh, what was that? That like I died, and then it like sent me way the fuck, and it put me way fucking back out of the way, and I was like, man, I have to redo all of it. I think it was Metroid Prime when I was still playing Metroid Prime 2, and it was like, oh my gosh, those checkpoints could be brutal.
I've had some moments. I've had some moments recently. Oh, I need to touch on something else. Let me grab another accessory. Hold on. Do we have anybody with us? Welcome if anybody's here. I know we're on Twitch. I haven't seen any YouTube activity. Oh. I'll have something else to discuss. Looks like news is brief. Should be able to. This might be a good show.
Oh, fuck.
This might be old man Halo night, possibly, maybe.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
You down for this?
Yeah, hell yeah!
It's hitting the spot, man. I don't know what it is. It's just it is. It just does.
The squashes.
Oh god, those fucking squashes. They got to be bots, right? Speaking of bots,
I don't know. It's so
some
weird.
Sort of bots. They're always on.
Always squash. Yeah. And there's always an extra one. And sometimes they're really good, and then sometimes they're just like fucking, they're doing nothing. They're just standing there.
Yeah, just get up and get away from the game. But click sticks enough for it to load in there. What if they're like the squashes? They also have a video game podcast, and they're like, there's two fuckers, Highway 81 Beast, Superfly. They're always on. What are they doing? They're always on together. Those were some good ones. Fucking squashes.
The Old Man Halo podcast.
Mm-hmm. I saw at the end of Saturday Red Shadow was on, but they were doing like a campaign or something, so it was like or Halo 3 matchmaker or something. So I was like, yeah, won't mess with this guy. I got news pulled up. You good to go?
Yep.
What?
I just remembered who joined us on Saturday, and the fact that their game was still not updated, but we didn't have to like wait an hour. Thank God.
Every time.
It's like, oh my gosh, dude. Well, you had stepped away to get a drink. And he hit another roadblock. It was he needed to repurchase Xbox membership. But that was a quick remedy.
Mine is up. What did he go with? Just out of curiosity.
I think he just went with the most basic tier, the core.
Just for online, because I know he owns the game.
Yeah, because we were both kind of like, you have to have live for this, but like apparently you do. So
yeah, it's that weird, and this this isn't wasted material because it's recorded, so it'll be after the credits roll. But like that, how do you have your new flagship Infinite that's free to play with there's no barrier behind it, and then you took this superior product? I think there's more people playing Master Chief Collection these days than Infinite. I think that's been the case for years. Maybe totally talking out of my ass, but I feel like anytime I've seen a story about it, Master Chief's got more concurrent players than Infinite. But you stick that behind, and that may be Steam. I guess that doesn't really count, but you plug that behind. So I got the email today. I thought mine was up the 16th. So that whole time we were playing, I was like, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, they might just unplug me or something, but it's the 25th. I got an email saying the 25th is when Game Pass Ultimate ends for me. Was that?
Said just a few more days.
Yeah, as of next week as of this recording. And I have no interest in even the drop to, was it $23.99 from $29.99 to $23.99? Yeah. No interest. I will pay for the basic online and then whatever that legacy, was it like legacy Game Pass stuff that I would get a hold of?
Yeah.
I'm playing multiplayer with y'all on something else. I just it's a dedicated Halo box. If we end up doing the switch to PC, like, I won't even do that tier. I won't even mess with that thing. We kind of all have to kick that around since that seems to be our go-to currently.
Yeah.
Oh, the review embargo's up for the Yoshi game?
Yeah, I think I started seeing some stuff today.
Don't want to look that up and see. Don't want to see what that looks like.
I mean, a lot of people are just talking about like the uniqueness of the I guess the art style and everything, and it was revealed that it was done in Unreal.
Oh.
Or yeah, I think it was Unreal.
All right, where are you at? I know you're going to be near the top of the. There it is. I knew it'd be near the top of Reset Era. Metacritic 80. VGC gave it a 5 out of 5. Giant Bomb's a 4 out of 5, but what is Giant Bomb now? IGN 6 out of 10. It runs the extremes. VGC a perfect score. Yoshi gets Mario off his back with a breathlessly imaginative 2D platformer. From Andy Robinson. Huh. Interesting. I don't know much about Andy Robinson. I don't know if he leans Nintendo heavy as far as, it's like a Nintendo bias sometimes. Oh, we get what they're going with here. We know what they're trying to do. That's interesting, though. The OP of this thread's name is I Don't Beat Games. That's pretty good. This could be me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 397 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and bot invasion podcast. That's right. The bots are here. They're invading. They're recording your podcasts. Brant, they're watching you. They're broadcasting you to YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. But you've agreed to this. Brant, if you could choose a bot to invade you, what sort of bot would you have?
Such a weird sentence.
It actually just came to me, and I think I'm going to go with Fembot from Austin Powers. I think I'm going to be invaded by Fembots.
That's a good choice. That's
not a bad. That's a strong bot to be invaded by.
Oh. I don't know if I have anything to beat that.
What about those the squid things from the Matrix? Remember the ones that would get in the sewer and like try to hunt down the rebel ships and stuff that were broadcasting the signals? Those things are scary. Sentinels, is that what they were called?
I think that's right.
Bot invasion.
I I don't know. I'll be invaded by Roombas. I guess they're a bot.
Yeah.
I feel like I could easily take them. Just grab a hammer and just,
I too will be hammering the fembots. we have the exact same attack
banging
strategy.
away.
Yeah, it's the best strategy. I have a Roomba thing for my pool. It cleans. We mainly do like the floor setting, but you can mix it between like it'll clean the floor, it'll climb the walls, and you see it back. You see it back up and it goes, but it's battery powered. So I just plug it in when it runs out, and I take the filter out and hose off the filter, plug it into the wall, let it recharge real good. It's all wireless. It's got a basket that's probably yay big, and it's got a fine filter on it. And I dump out the basket. But if I'm cleaning pretty regularly, there's nothing major in the basket, maybe a leaf or two. There's no trees directly around my house.
Yeah.
But it'll get dirt and bugs and like those little flying ants you see, they are attracted to pools, I guess. They're just nonstop in the water.
Oh yeah.
They just go for it. All right.
You got the frog in your skimmer yet?
So yesterday, I haven't seen any creatures, no animals, and I dump the skimmers all the time. Yesterday, allegedly, I believe her because I did not see it. My spouse found a small mouse or a baby squirrel. She did not look at it long enough. She just identified that it was no longer existing on this plane with the rest of us. So she dumped it out, and there was also a frog in there, which was alive, which she saved. So the wildlife has started to come out. There's bats all the time, like above us. Like bats are just darting in and out, and I'm hoping they clean out the bugs.
You said you did more of not the chlorine. You went with like the saline style pool, right?
It's a salt. Yeah, it's a salt cell.
Yeah.
It makes chlorine, but it's a different process than like a traditional, from my understanding. Yeah.
You're not dumping bags of chemical chlorine in there.
No,
so.
Big bags of salt on occasion. Yeah. Salt, and for some reason the pH goes high, so it's called muriatic acid, and you dump that in there and it drops it down. So maybe a gallon of that every 2 weeks, like $10 a gallon. But it's not horrible, but it is just something to keep up with. But she does all the chemistry and testing and stuff like that, so it's really just a matter of keeping up with those two things. But the salt cell and all that seems to work. But I don't know, like, it's brand new, so no pump repairs have had to be made or anything, out of the ordinary, right off the rip. And this is the only wildlife we found. So one was alive and one was dead. No longer with us. And that's my pump story. It's not my pump, baby. We're gonna just stick with the Austin Powers stuff. Richard, this book says that pump is my bag. It's not my bag, baby.
Sort of thing is my bag, baby.
Is my bag, baby. By one Austin Powers.
Austin Danger Powers.
Hurry up. Oh, let me have. He grabs it, like slinks off. He's such, like, the last time I watched this, because we kicked off a whole Austin Powers thing for me, maybe like 6 months ago. He's so small. Like, Michael Myers is such a tiny man amongst all this stuff. Yeah. And it adds to every single bit of it. It's the way he portrays that character. The physical comedy is so good. And I think a lot of it is like his stature and just how he plays that character is awesome. Oh boy. All right, Brand, we got video game news this week. PlayStation Plus gets more expensive. I'm thinking about ditching a online subscription currently. There are new Xbox controllers that leaked. Nintendo announces new game? ? And we have your May Game Pass Wave 2 titles. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Brant McKee, Newsmaster Brant McKee. What's up? Brant, thanks for building the news. Once again.
No problem.
We can have a short news section, and then I will rant about PlayStation 2 games for 30-ish minutes. So, listeners, that's what you have. We only got 2 people with us. I still don't think Buish is getting notifications. I haven't seen Buish in a long time.
Probably not.
Yeah. I don't think he's getting notifications, but maybe some more people pop in there with us. We kind of kicked around in the pre-show about the new Yoshi game. Are you picking this one up?
I may. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on playing it like immediately.
Right.
So it's one of those I may like just kind of wait and see if it drops down a little bit before I get it, or
None
see if
of
the price matching thing happens.
Yeah, they've been doing the physical games have been $10 less than they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of Amazon and Walmart like competing back and forth. So, yeah, I'll see how that goes. I've got it pre-ordered. I kind of scrambled, purchased, and bought it when it was like one of those, hey, this is $10 less before they started the price wars with
Yeah.
back and forth. Because it's this title, it's the new Splatoon game, and it's one other game, right? Was it Star Fox that's all $10 off? Yeah. But none of those first party games have really not been on sale, except Mario Kart maybe. So
yeah, Mario Kart's never gone on sale.
No. Well, we all bought that day one, so we've got. Oh, you got a physical copy of that one.
I
got a digital copy of Mario Kart, but the review embargo lifted. Yoshi looks solid. It's an 80 on Metacritic. That's a good video game by all review metrics, I would say. We'll see. I think I'm with you though. I don't know if I'll keep that pre-order. We'll find out. I definitely have plenty of backlog, right? Like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Speaking of backlogs, PlayStation Plus is going up in price for new members, says Jordan Midler at VGC VideoGamesChronicle.com. Beginning on May 20th, PlayStation Plus essential prices will start at $10.99 US for 1 month subscriptions and $27.99 US for 3 month subscriptions. My nose is itching. I know that's bad audio. This marks an increase of $1 for 1 month and $3 for the 3 month option. In a post from the PlayStation Twitter account, Sony cited, quote, ongoing market conditions for the increase in price. Quote, this price change does not apply to current subscribers, except in Turkey and India, unless the existing subscription changes or lapses. Okay. So we still get a good value on, and this is just essential, right? That's it. It's not changing for the ultra
and it's
or
just
premium
for new members.
And just for new members. So if you stay on it, what are they looking at? Like a plateau of people signing up? What is this driven by?
I don't know. It's kind of an odd thing to do at this point.
Yeah, VGC goes on to note that at this stage in the PS4's life cycle, it could be had for as little as $200. And then they finish noting that Switch 2 consoles are going up in price.
It is worth mentioning as well that I know we'd already talked about it, but Herman Holtz made, I guess, an internal announcement about 100% definitive that Sony first-party stuff is staying console exclusive. They're not doing any more PC releases either, so.
Gotta have a PlayStation. Your PC's not a PlayStation. I guess your Fire Stick can be a PlayStation. Don't they have like a streaming thing? It's not like xCloud, but it's there are ways to do remote play.
Yeah.
That's the better answer. There are ways to do remote play. Yeah, everything's going up. I think I was thinking today, my daughter was mouthing off about something, and I was like, well, your iPad broke last year. We just got you a new iPad, and you both got upgraded. And I started thinking, as soon as I said it, I was like, that might not be that easy of a call. Like, we have gotten increases in hardware for like phones and iPads and PCs. Like, we've gotten great value. I know you haven't gotten a MacBook in a while, but like, you've seen the Apple Silicon, the advances they've had across the board, and they slot that new one in. It's like the same price every year, or they drop it, or you can get that year's model for $800 by Black Friday or something. And I don't know if we're going to keep seeing stuff like that. You know, Apple Watches come out and they get replaced. They replace the old one, and it's the same price, and they just clearance out or drop the old one like $50 or so, or continue to sell it concurrently. I don't know if we're going to continue to see stuff like that when our consoles have gone up in value. Like, they're up in price from when we paid for them 6 years ago. It's just
the Switch 2 is about to go up, and I mean, it's been I guess by the time the price increase goes, it'll be about a year, a little over a year.
And I saw on I think it was Best Buy has the the SKU with the pick a game. So it's $4.99.99, and it comes with a game. Is that what we paid for the Mario Kart bundle? Was it $4.99? Yeah. Okay. So that just replaces the Mario Kart bundle. I wonder if that is going to be the ongoing SKU for the standard price in September 1st when the Switch 2 goes up, or if those SKUs are going to be $5.49. Is the pick a game bundle going to be out still and go up to that $50 tier? If so, probably. You may want to spend the next couple months saving up to grab a Switch 2 so you can get one of these games with it. That might be a good economic forecast. It'll save you, $60, $60-$70 on one of these titles. It comes with Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, or...
is it Pocopia?
Pocopia. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting for them to throw that in the bundle. Okay. That's actually a really good value. And a lot of people are buying Switch 2s just for Pocopia. I think you mentioned that last week. That was a big deal. We'll see. Stuff's going up. Makes me happier I'm playing old games. Brant, there's 2 unannounced Xbox controllers. Jordan Midler of VGC says 2 unannounced Xbox controller Surface. Is that a Microsoft joke in there? Anywhere?
Yeah. I'll say that's a Microsoft reference joke.
Someone opened up an Xbox and just happened to see these new things. This is actually pretty cool. That one's ugly as shit, though. Did you see that?
I'm about to say, yeah. Like the first one that we see, I mean, obviously, podcast-wise, look them up if you can. We're talking, referencing what appears to be the Elite Series 3, which, I mean, looks more of the same. The D-pad looks a little different. It looks like there's a third button underneath the Xbox button, and then of course there's like the paddles and everything underneath. But that looks really, nice. That's about standard for most of those Elite controllers.
That D-pad is funky. I can't quite figure out what that is. It's almost like a disc, right?
And then the other one is this so-called Xbox Cloud controller featuring a flat rectangular pad with 2 small grips. So think of literally like it's like a rectangle, but they've added like some little butt grips on it.
Yeah, it's an NES controller with butt grips.
Yes, and it's got your standard Xbox inputs, offset sticks. The
Wi-Fi
D-pad
connectivity.
Looks like,
that's the big deal.
Yeah, the D-pad looks like the series consoles D-pad.
Yeah,
but yeah, like it said that there's these have Wi-Fi connectivity, Wi-Fi 6.
When I first saw this, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the 500 milliamp hour battery.
How is that for a controller that's doing a lot of streaming like Wi-Fi?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that how the Stadia controller connected?
I believe so.
Man, all those years ago,
you had it.
I did have it. I played it. Remember, infamously, I played one round of PUBG and won and never played it again.
Yep.
It played so well. I don't know. I don't know how that affects battery. We'll see. These are rumored. It leaked via Technoblog. Images posted by Technoblog. The one that we called the NES controller with nubs. It reminds me, that Jawbone. Is it Jawbone series? Dogbone? What's the ones you put your phone in the middle of, and that lets you play? That lets you stream and stuff. Something bone. Backbone. I think it's backbone. Jawbone, Dogbone, backbone. We were going to get there at some point. Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah. But no, imagine no phone in the middle. It's just it's your Xbox controller layout. It's your offset analog sticks. It's the D-pad, and then those 3 menu buttons. Did we not? What is that middle button? And when I first looked at it, I was like, that's on the current one, right? But it's definitely not.
No, it's not. Yeah. And that's the thing is, I at first, like on the the Elite controller, everything's matte black. So, I mean, it almost looks like it just could be an. When I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe it's an extra LED and it's off. But then on the cloud controller, you can clearly see it's a raised button because it's got a white shell scheme with black face buttons, and you can clearly see that button underneath is a raised third button. So it's like, what is that? Is that for maybe the Wi-Fi connectivity?
Yeah, I bet that's its own menu for that controller, like its own power, Wi-Fi. Yeah, I bet that it's its own indicator, like status thing. Time will tell. We're about to get close to that E3 season, right? Where we start seeing some of this stuff. Well, what we know is E3 that hasn't existed since COVID. COVID killed E3, which was already dying.
You think Astra Sharma will come out at the new Keeleys and
show off the controller?
Show off the new Xbox.
You got to show it doing the Wi-Fi stuff. That's the whole.
Have Booty bring it out.
Oh, Matt Booty. Matt Booty, show us that wireless connectivity on that controller. 500 milliamp hour just seems low to me, but maybe a controller is that low input to. Somebody's probably out there like the PS5 controllers 200 milliamp hour. Like it may be something we just are unaware of. But that strikes me as kind of low. Look forward to that. Nintendo announces a new game, Pictonico. Pictonico? Pictonico.
I think it is Pictonico or something.
Pictonico, a new mobile game that turns your photos into mini games. This comes from Chris Golion. Nintendo has announced a new mobile game that will turn your photos into mini games. The WarioWare style games include eating food, rolling out a carpet for a married couple, and peeling a face mask off of someone. Brant, you can do this with your naughty photos. Players can either take photos from their existing photo library or take new ones in the app itself. Give Nintendo access to your photos.
Your photo albums, yes.
All right, it's coming out May 28th, so a little over a week after this recording, and it's already available to pre-order in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. The game will be free to download and include a small selection of minigames available on a demo basis. After that, players will have to buy the rest of the minigames, which are sold in volumes. Volume 1 will cost $5.99, and Volume 2 costs $7.99. It's not clear how many minigames are in each specific volume, but Nintendo says up to 80 minigames in total will be available across all volumes. They had me at WarioWare. Is this how we get a new WarioWare?
It does look very WarioWare-ish.
I haven't actually yet to see how this looks.
I'm not exactly sure who it's for.
Yeah.
And I was, pretty certain that Nintendo has kind of stepped away from the mobile game market. It's been quite a while since they've had any kind of mobile game. They stopped. I think they stopped supporting Mario Run. They had Mario Kart Tour. I don't think there's much going on in there. I think the most successful mobile game was like they had a Fire Emblem mobile game that was pretty popular. That's probably still going. And aside from maybe some of the Pokemon minigame or Pokemon mobile games, but I mean, those aren't necessarily done by Nintendo. So,
oh, this is weird. This is absolutely WarioWare-esque.
Oh, it's very, very WarioWare.
Take a picture of somebody's face and they crawl around as a baby, and you give the baby like a lollipop. Somebody's face comes out of the genie after you rub the lamp. Okay, that just looks like zany Nintendo stuff, right? Remember Pikmin Bloom? Remember the Google Niantic?
Yeah, the Niantic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I downloaded that. I believe that was during COVID because we were kind of confined, and I was like, I would walk the neighborhood, walk the cul-de-sac, that sort of thing. I got notifications from that fucker hourly. You're Pikmin Blink, you're Pikmin this, you're Pikmin that. And I was like, that was it for me, and I never went back to it. It was a one and done. Like, nope.
Not even turning off the notifications. You're just like, nope, stop, down.
Nope. I'm not even keeping
Delete.
up with this. I know people at work professionally that have like these pet things, like a Gigapet that they have to, or a Tamagotchi, but it's a phone thing, and they have to like they have to do stuff to keep it up. And I'm like, I'm not, dude. This is too much.
Oh my gosh.
I can't go down this path. Did you ever have a Tamagotchi or a Gigapet?
Yes, back in the day. Yeah, and a Digimon.
And a Digimon. They made a Digimon one of those?
Oh yeah. Those were old too, because looking at my Wonder Swan.
Ooh.
They actually made a Digimon game that was specifically for the Wonder Swan.
Okay.
And had a attachment, and you could attach your digital
phone on there?
little. No, that's the Wonder Swan.
Yeah. Okay.
You used the little like expansion port on the side and plugged the peripheral in, because you could like take the little digital pet things that were, the keychain size things, and put them together and fight the Digimon. So this was like you could do that on here and like transfer and do all this stuff, and yeah, there was a lot to it.
We used to be a civilized world. They were simpler days. They were better times. And it's just like little things are just like the Tamagotchis, like those dot matrix LCD black and white things. We got the kids Tamagotchis maybe a month and a half ago.
Really?
And they had a very similar reaction to my Pokemon Bloom thing. They were like, "Oh, this is cool," and then it would beep at them and get
sudden,
their attention.
I gotta feed it.
Yeah, just like I'm talking about with the coworkers, but kids were annoyed by this. They were like, "How do you make it stop?" And then one of them figured out you could hold the reset button to make it stop. And I was like, "Let me know how that works out for you." They were like 30 minutes into like hatching the egg or whatever it was. And holding the reset button resets everything. It died. I've got a new one. And I'm like, "Yep." You're starting fresh.
I'm about to say, now they've set him off and left him, and they've come back, and it's just the little tombstone there.
Yep. Dun dun dun. I need to check on them. Now that I have mentioned that, I need to see if they know where those are at, because they don't give those away. That's an expensive little experimental toy to give out. They're all over Amazon though. You can get a bunch of different ones.
Oh yeah.
I need to see where they're at. It was worth more than just like a 30-minute thrill. They probably got a solid afternoon out of it.
Oh yeah. Shoot, I know. We back in the day probably got like a week or two out of those things.
Yeah.
And then once it died, you were like semi-traumatized, and then was like, wait, you can just reset it. Never mind, it's not that big of a deal.
Next.
And then you put it in a drawer and never thought about it again.
Mark's Knight and I had Gigapets, and we would compete and see who could keep them alive the longest. Do you, did I tell this story before about the Gigapets?
I don't think so.
So it's not just a Gigapet. It's like it's a neon green. And the Gigapet, I guess, was the Tiger Electronics version of the Bandai. Was it Bandai that made the Tamagotchi? Is that what's on that? I want to say it's a Bandai.
I know Bandai was the one. That's why they have the Digimon ones.
Okay.
Let me see.
So I know Tiger Electronics made the Gigapets, and we did not. We could not get a Tamagotchi, and
it was Bandai.
Bandai made those. Yeah, that rang a bell for some reason as I'm walking through this, and we somehow convinced my dad at KFC. There was a KFC. I don't know if it's still there at the intersection of like 138 and 42 in a certain area.
It's still there.
It's still there. It's that exact
right next
same
to
one.
the there's a Krispy Kreme there now.
Yep.
Oh well.
yeah, there is. Yep, exactly. My Goodwill I used to haunt was over there. That's where I got my Super Nintendo in the box. That Super Nintendo box, right behind me.
Oh my gosh!
Came from that Goodwill.
And now there's nothing good at that Goodwill ever.
For $5, the guy was taking it out on the shelf, and I was like, "How much is that?" I'm getting it, and this was 2004, maybe 2005. He's like, I don't know. I'm putting it out here. What do you want me to put on there? It's like $5. He's like, okay, $5. And I took it straight up to the front. And it had both controllers in there and Super Mario World. It was a complete, it's got the foam, it's got the books. Those were the days, man. Never again. Never again.
I'm about to say now Goodwill ships all their stuff away to special Goodwill
shop,
electronic
Goodwill,
stores.
The Goodwill auction
or
site.
Shop, yeah. Yeah.
So we wore my dad down at the KFC, and he got us. It's a KFC branded Gigapet, and I can find it. I don't have it anymore. If I looked, I think my brother had his, and I think I ended up with it somewhere. But there is a KFC branded Gigapet. It's neon green, and it was a cat, and that's the one we had. And we used to try to keep them alive. We used to compete and try to keep them alive longer. But this was the same time as the Pokemon craze. So you had this wave of like. And this was a real digital monster. Like you had the one in the game, but this one stayed alive even when you didn't cut it. You know, for our generation, the medium was not always with you. It's something you turned on or off, or you had a specific time. Like you can come in and do the TV, or you do the computer. It wasn't how many younger people we have listen to us.
Yeah.
I'm the old man shouting at this guy, but it wasn't. The batteries didn't last forever and whatever it was, or it wasn't portable, or it wasn't the same experience portable. Like those garbage Tiger Electronics things, but the Game Boy was the best you had. The Game Gear was not a portable. You had to plug in the Game Gear to make that a decent system. But this was a thing that like went with you and lived and breathed. And I think that's why Furby was so big back in the day. Remember Furbies?
Yep.
And you could shoot a remote at them, and something with the IR beam would like fry them or mess them up. That's I
don't know. Our friend in common, friend of the show, Jay, I know had one.
He had a Furby?
He had a Furby, yes.
I don't remember that. It was
saying like do way and stuff.
Perfect.
And he was teaching it all sorts of things.
Fantastic. And that would have been the second wave of Furby, right? That wouldn't have been like the first round of Furby mania. Can you still buy a Furby? We're talking about Tamagotchis. Can you still buy a Furby?
I assume so.
Brant, how much would you pay for a Furby? I think this is what we need to.
Oh gosh.
Brant, what is the price of admission for you to get a Furby? Is that your new Fembot?
No.
A Furby Fembot?
Not.
Furblets Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Mini 3-inch electronic plush. Furby Galaxy Edition. This is $55. Man, this was like the it toy. This was the thing. They're about 50.
Gosh, yeah,
they're $55, $60.
There's a Star Wars edition Grogu Furby.
Oh wow, look at that thing. It's a Furblet too. It's a little one. What does a Furblet get you? I bet it doesn't. It says electronic plush toy.
Yeah.
You see those long creepy cat ones? That's kind of a weird looking the Furbies I know are these like short chunky things. You see the long thing? It's weird.
Yes. Yes, I do. What's with the weird Reese's Furby? It looks like it's on fire. Do you see that one?
That was my top result. It's got like troll hair coming out the top. Like it is like fuego.
Bright orange. Yeah, bright orange like treasure troll hair.
Hey, 4.8 stars, Brant. This thing's a big hit. This Furblet. Okay. 45 plus sounds and music.
Just sounds so wrong.
No, you sat on my Furblet. I wondered what that was. The long one is disturbing to me. Press the top of the head, mouth, and heart gem to activate a variety of fun and funny sounds. The main electronic pet can sit in or out of their own pretend Reese's Peanut Butter Cup toy, plays music, and speaks Furbish. All right, Tamagotchis weren't a hit. Do I buy some Furblets and see how that goes? There's a Peeps one, too. I guess they branded with candy companies. It's like a fever dream, right?
All I remember now is I was watching it a few days ago. It came through one of my feeds. There's this old 90s preacher, and I've seen him talk about like the evils of Pokemon. And he also talked about like the evils of the Furbies. The Furbies were demonic. And he said it talked to my wife and it said, "Me want you." And then it said, "Me want your body."
Yeah. I need to see this clip. That's awesome.
The dude looks like a freaking Danny McBride character. He's got like the mullet and the
like, is this a bit? Is this I'm entertained, but are we for real here, or is this a bit?
Oh my gosh. No, I think this dude was for real. Oh. I want to see.
People are out there in the pews like, yeah. I can't believe they do that. It's crazy. Can't argue with this dude. Way.
Holy crap. Somebody has so I went to eBay now looking for these classic Furbies and not the weird Furblet. The very first is a Furby 1998 new inbox. New old stock, basically.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's got its eyes like half open and its mouth open. It looks very weird. It's a white Furby that they're selling for $875.
Holy shit. He ran out of batteries and that's why he looks half eyes open, half mouth open. More Richard lore. Have I told you my Teddy Ruxpin story? Do you remember Teddy Ruxpin?
I do. You remember I went to a garage sale not too long ago and got like a small collection of games. The guy had a bunch of vintage toys, and amongst them was like a very damaged Teddy Ruxpin. And I was like, oh my lord. And he's like, yeah, just, you want Teddy Ruxpin, don't you? I'm like, not that thing. That thing looks demonic.
Damn.
It was damaged.
He was in Desert Storm. He was in Desert Storm, like that Game Boy they have in the museum, half melted. This Teddy Ruxpin's seen some shit.
Yeah. So what's your Teddy?
Take Teddy home Ruxpin with you
story.
I was in a summer camp. I was put in summer camp every year at a location. It's not near us. Reynolds Nature Preserve. You may have passed that vicinity at some point. They used to do a summer camp. So I was there. I'm probably 5 or 6. And to me, it's a talking teddy bear. That's how it works. I don't know that it's got batteries and all that sort of thing. So the thing with Teddy Ruxpin, it was like a bear. I'm looking around like I have one. Like, ooh, here's Teddy Ruxpin. And then he had a shirt on. He had like a sweater like Winnie the Pooh almost. Did Winnie the Pooh have a shirt or pants? He didn't have pants.
He didn't have pants.
He was pantless.
He had a red shirt.
Teddy Ruxpin has a red shirt.
Yes.
And behind the shirt is a battery box and a tape player. So you pop the tape in and Teddy Ruxpin play. He reads stories to you. So at summer camp at Reynolds Nature Preserve in probably 1990 or 91 or 92, this Teddy Ruxpin starts running out of batteries. It doesn't stop working. He dwindles to a stop. It's like, he's talking to you. And then exactly, you had it exactly.
He was having a stroke.
Yeah. And I know, I'm in this group of kids. I'm looking at it like, that's not right. Something's wrong with him. He's dying. I was distraught. I was watching him fade off, like go into the light. Like, this is what it's like. And maybe I think I had lost a grandparent. Maybe it's like tied to losing a grandparent. And like we went to visit my grandparent and they had passed. Like my family found him. We didn't go in the room, but my family had found him. And maybe it's around that time of that. And then seeing Teddy, like, what does it look like when they actually die? What actually happens? And here's Teddy Ruxpin just going into the walking into the next world, and and his eyes are blinking slower, and his mouth's moving slower, and I'm like, he's going. Yeah, I have no interest in. It's not a fear. It's not like I don't like clowns or I don't want a creepy doll. It looks like Chucky. It's like a sad. The bear died. My context of this thing is not that it is a battery powered thing, but it's that the magic in him went out, and not like a
literally.
Not like a flame was.
You watched it slowly fade.
Yes,
right
it was
in front
sad.
of your eyes.
Yes, he slipped into the darkness. It was just, it was horrible. I can't believe I've never mentioned that one on here.
No.
Teddy Ruxpin, whenever somebody mentions Teddy Ruxpin, which is not often, believe it or not.
Not often at all.
But we have thousands of hours of talking about this stuff, so I was like, man, at some point, I'm sure this came up. And nope. There's no good condition Teddy Ruxpin. If you look on eBay, there's whatever that is, they've been
damaged heavily.
Yeah, if they look good, Al from Al's Toy Barn in Toy Story 2 like refurbished it. Why have we never? Is there a Furby
Full
video
circle.
game somewhere? Yes, it is. It is 100% full circle. We're just 90s kids talking 90s stuff. Nostalgia is making a big comeback. There's all these, and part of it is my algorithm that feeds me this shit, right? But YouTube's always saying, there's always these news stories of like, physical media is making a comeback. This shop in New York opened up and they rent DVDs and they're making great money by renting DVDs. And I'm always like, is this just like pulling it out of the hat and sending it to me? But these news articles will be recent. It'll be within like the last week.
No.
It'll say like 3 days ago on YouTube.
Gen Z and to some extent Gen Alpha is even getting into like, I almost sent it to you, talking about like people going and buying these offline music players.
Yeah.
Whether, just getting something off of Amazon or whatever, but I've heard of them going and buying, DVDs and Blu-rays and all this, because they're figuring out like these streaming services, whether it be for music or TV shows, all this it's failing us, or you just have to have too many, to be able to access everything you want to see. Whereas like, if I just buy the thing, then I've bought it and I have it and I can watch it whenever I want. I don't have to, I want to watch this thing. Oh, it's not on the service I have. Okay, well, where is it? Where, I've got to hunt it down, and
they're super easily available. You can find them at Goodwills or thrift stores or garage sales.
We were sold streaming services on the subject of, or with the promise of convenience, and we've gotten the lack thereof.
Yeah. I think in a way they're discovering that magic of, even without what some of these shops are popping up, but without the magic of like a Blockbuster night. You describe a Blockbuster night and I don't know that it's tangible to any of our kids or anyone under 25 or 30 probably. What did probably 20 to 25. But that concept is just lost to them. But I think there's a certain attachment to, and that hasn't changed. They've just been faced with other market decisions, and times are not great economic right now. If you want to cut back, there's a certain magic to going and finding a thing for $1 or $2 and like carving out space to not just cutting on your TV and scrolling to find something, right? We're inundated with decisions and choices. There's too much. It's choice paralysis. If you go out and you grab a thing and it was $2 or somebody loans you a physical thing and then you carve out dedicated time to enjoy that, I think there's still a magic to that. And they are discovering that, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, you could take it even a step further, because I've seen videos where there's been somebody talking about how, I just thought of this idea and we really need to do this. There needs to be like what if, in your house you had a centralized phone and like everybody could use that phone, rather, and it's like, yes, it was called a landline, sweetheart.
Oh,
And but I saw this. I've seen a couple videos of this. One of them was this girl who decided that she wanted to use her phone less when she was home. So she literally puts her phone in a drawer, and they've got a Bluetooth like analog phone that connects to her regular phone. And if she gets a call, it rings like like an old school phone, and she just
yeah,
goes and picks it off the receiver and answers it.
yeah.
And or if she wants to see who's calling, she can opened the drawer and looked at the phone to see who was calling. And I
Interesting.
was like, okay, it's like
I like this concept.
I was like, that's I guess a decent concept because yeah, we sometimes you do get stuck on your phone scrolling or just lost in it. So yeah, disconnect for a little while.
Yeah. I really like that concept. I
And
might look into
and
something like that.
you could still like you could literally pick the phone up and like start dialing on it and it would make the call through your phone as well. So it was an interesting little device. I was like, it was one
I
of the
like
first times
that.
I'd ever seen that.
We're probably like 2 decades into caller ID and all that sort of thing. And then you'll still
Gosh,
see
yeah.
people our generation and older. Like, I'll see it, right? I'll see, all right, Brant McKee's calling. If I say, hello, like, what am I doing? It's like, what's up, Brant? Like, I know it's you. We're
Yeah.
way past. This isn't a dial situation or a touch tone or a cordless, what they call it, a cordless phone. We got a cordless phone in the living room. I'll go to that one. Because let me transfer to it. Remember, you'd set it down. You'd set down the landline. You go to the cordless phone, grab that, and like, okay, I'm gonna hang it up. And you'd hear that click. Those were the days.
You'd buy the the hub with like the two handsets.
Yeah.
Oh,
VTech brands like VTech and I think Radio Shack had their own brands of those. I think my kids would dig something like that. I do like the Bluetooth concept. That's pretty cool. So one of my kids is like preteen, so I can really see that vibe of just, holding the phone and doing whatever and just chit-chatting, that sort of thing. But maybe that's a nostalgia thing. I meant to touch on this before. It's the end of the school year in our area, and I'm sure most kids in the U.S. And we went to a graduation party this weekend, and I had to do a double take because there was a picture being taken, and I'm just kind of looking around the room, and I got a beverage, and I see something, and I kind of did like a double take as they're taking a picture. These kids are using a digital camera. They've got an actual like, was it a Fujifilm? I can't remember the brand, but I looked at it twice. I'm like, wait, what? And they're taking, I guess they'll have a memory card full of pictures from this party, and they'll dump it somewhere. Or upload. I guess you could just, upload it from there. But I thought it was pretty cool. The kids are going to be okay, Brant. They're going to be fine.
Going through all this nostalgia and it's crazy. You remember those days you might have a digital camera, your phone, and then you might have a Game Boy Advanced in your pocket or a PSP.
PSP. Yep.
DS.
I think that's about the time I had a phone in school, and I didn't get a friend of mine had the PSP right before we graduated because I saw it on our trip we played in Disney World for baseball my senior year, and the PSP had just come out, and I was still part-time at retail. I wasn't a manager yet. And that's about when I started like taking a bag places. I was like, I need a bag for these things. I've got I got a steady job. I got my first credit card. I financed an iPod video. The 5th gen video had come out. And I grabbed that, and I had the PSP, and I had a DS at that time by then, I think, and Game Boy Advance. And, I didn't have to carry both of those, but it's like, man, and I'd have a notebook, and you didn't need all those different devices, but each one had a special tangible use.
Yep.
And that's interesting because that's, we come from the era of like the piggyback devices. Like, yeah, it's a PlayStation. Like, we want a PlayStation because it plays games, but it's also a CD player, like a good CD player that we can have in the living room, or then infamously the DVD player.
DVD player,
yeah. And like Gen X before us was doing it with computers. They weren't selling parents on Gianna Sisters or Mario Brothers Arcade or any of those like software that they could share with friends at school. They were selling parents on doing homework and writing reports and being able to print things. And it was the Trojan horse for the entertainment piece. But now we just have devices that do it all, and no need for these specialty things that had the spark to them, that had the magic. All right, Brant, is that our nostalgic waxing until I wax poetically about PlayStation 2 titles in a little while?
Yeah. I guess we can finish up the news here with our wave 2 of Game Pass here. I'll go through these real quick.
Here's a big one.
We've got, of course, don't forget that Horizon 6 joined the service the other day. Coming up soon, May 20th, we have Remnant 2, Winter Burrow. Then we have on May 21st, Luna Abyss. May 26th, Escape Simulator.
Oh God.
Echo Generation 2 on May 27th. Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition, also May 27th.
I think there's something with this Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice. That's like the Game of the Year edition. I think they're delisting the original on most things. So you can't, I want to say, I might be wrong on this, but I seem to remember reading you weren't going to be able to get the original one. You have to get this version with all the DLC. It's like the Game of the Year edition. Kind of like they did with like Fallout and Oblivion. They ended up having Game of the Year editions with all the stuff and add-ons and packs and everything. And they delist the original. I can't remember the reason for that, but for some reason I want to see. I want to say I saw that somewhere.
May 28th, we have Crash Out Crew, along with Kabuto Park. And then, there it is.
Heavy hitter.
Final Fantasy 6 coming June the 2nd.
Yeah.
So that finishes out those classic Final Fantasies, the pixel remasters. And Jurassic World Evolution 3 also on June 2nd.
Damn, there's already a third one of those? The Park Builders?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Things just they go by so quickly. I'm like, I feel like the last one just came out, and it's not like an annual franchise thing. It's not like Madden or the way Assassin's Creed used to be. Sometimes I just feel like, man, that just came out. Like the second one, I feel like was not that long ago. I guess they're successful enough though. Jurassic World Evolution Park Builders. My Game Pass runs out in a couple weeks, and I think I'm going to be just using whatever that basic online thing is. I don't think I'm gonna do it. So the article wraps up. It dropped from $29.99 a month to $22.99 a month, which is less than $1 a day. But it's gonna take a huge new release, I think, to really warrant that ultimate tier. Did you end up dropping down, Brant?
I think
or you still
I'm
had
about
it out
to.
for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Cesar had it out for a while. I think Buish dropped down. I might reach out to Buish and see which one he went with, because we're gonna be playing similar type stuff online wise. Is that it for news? We're done.
That is it for news.
We're done here. New Nintendo mobile game. Game Pass Wave 2. And Forza Horizon 6 came out for everything, right? It came out for Xbox, PlayStation, PC. Yeah.
I
Or delay on
don't
PlayStation,
think
maybe?
yeah, I don't think it's on PlayStation.
Just Xbox and PC.
Yeah. I
Also,
think right now, technically, it's early access, and within the next day or so, it's full release.
yeah. Supposed to run really well on Steam Deck, so if there was a kind of a quick and easy way to have that up and running on Steam Deck, that might be a more compelling argument. We'll go into games played. We played some more Old Man Halo. I think we might end up playing some tonight if we get out of here before too long. That was what, Saturday night we played? And friend of the show, Uno jumped on there with us and held his own. We've been playing a lot here recently. Yeah, he stepped right in and did quite well. Of course, we had some rounds against the Squashes, who, as Brant mentioned, maybe in the pre-show, I think, ranged between playing like Halo gods or playing like Halo dog shit. I'm not sure what the bottom tier of that is, but it seemed to be hit and miss. And I sent Squasha a friend request to try to get him on our team for us to flow a little bit better with matchmaking. But we seem to end up with them either with us or against us almost every round. And then typically against us once we got friend of the show Uno in there. Anything of note? Did we play the whole night without any? Nobody crashed or got booted or anything, right?
Now that you mention it,
yeah. I've said
surprisingly,
that, it was like a flawless round of Old Man Halo. Yeah.
Usually somebody gets kicked or the game gets a hard crash, or we didn't have a single problem.
Not to any of us, right?
That's surprising.
Pretty wild. Remains awesome. I want to keep playing this on Xbox with my friends. That's the justification for investigating Game Pass. It's been, like I said, it's been end of the school year stuff, so it's like every night something busy. I was looking at the schedule. I was like, maybe we could do Wednesday if this doesn't work for Brant to record on Tuesday, or maybe Cesar can make Wednesday when I threw it out there to you guys. Tomorrow's another late night. It's going to be like 8:30 or 9 before I'm back here. I'm like, oh my God, it never ends. I got a little bit of free time yesterday. My quest to play Medal of Honor Frontline and complete it continues. I beat a bridge. There's a movie called A Bridge Too Far, and this series of missions is actually called Several Bridges Too Far. And one of the missions was getting over this bridge in the Netherlands, I believe. What's it called? Starts with an M. It was a really, really fun mission. You essentially Nijmegen Bridge, Nijmegen, and it consists of trying to get, you can't go straight across the bridge. There's things in the way. So, and they're also, the Nazis are trying to blow up the bridge. So you got to go underneath. You got to take everybody out in this area. You got to go underneath, kill some guys, disarm the bomb, work your way along the bottom, come back out. You got to climb to the top because they're also above the bridge and they're shooting at you. It was a really fun mission. These old shooters, they do a lot with scale and scope in a way that like the PlayStation 1 and the N64 and stuff couldn't do. Well, N64 was doing it with Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, but that was kind of it. Rare was kind of pushing that envelope. And even though these are contained, this isn't an open world like Halo. You're not grabbing a warthog and going across the surface of this alien thing and down into the constructs and all that. But they do a really good job with that scale. Each mission has involved like a lot of, is it linear game design? Like you'll have, and all of this comes with the dual analog sticks that you have too, right? Standard with the PS2, GameCube, Xbox is the ability to move around and look with the other one, which before then was not a staple in console gaming. And so you'll have people sniping, you come around a corner and they're sniping from above you, and there'll be guys on the ground shooting back up, and they kind of build in health and the elements. Like a radar will tell you where the shots are coming from. They kind of build in a little bit of that for working around. It's really just a good illustration of a 3D space and going through these levels. And I do get lost sometimes because the textures are a little dated. I think I mentioned last week, it's relieving that there's not a beacon leading you everywhere. It's not like go here. There's not a marker on the map to tell you where you have to go. So there's like some time spent in exploring. I'm in Rubble in Netherlands, and I'm trying to figure out how to get to the next spot. And a lot of it's like just jumping around the map, trying to see like where's this opening that I can get through. Do you remember those days? Like just trying.
Yep.
It didn't
Just
lead
like,
you. Yeah, where do I go?
we didn't have the infamous yellow paint everywhere.
Yellow paint and like markers. I watched. There's a very similar mission in Call of Duty World War II, and I haven't played that one. And I might start streaming some of these games because I'm having a lot of fun with them. And I watched they had a very similar bridge mission, and it was kind of like one of those how far have games come in 20 years, 25 years sorts of things. And there were markers everywhere, and the HUD was so busy, and there's just so much on the screen. And it's older game design, and it's of a different era, and it's more simple but more complex at the same time, and it's hitting the spot. Like I know you've been playing a lot of old school games, and I'm loving it. What I do not love, I think I'm at the end. So I didn't mention this in the past couple weeks. I was talking about playing it. You have missions that have levels in the missions. So you get to save at the end of each level, but they'll have an overarching like. So the first mission in Medal of Honor Frontline is the Normandy landing. So you land at Omaha Beach, you storm up the beach, you blow up the barrier thing that's holding you back, and you get into the Nazi strongholds that are shooting down at the beach, right? And then you can save, and then you're on mission 2, or you're on level 2 of that first mission. So I've made it through 2 of these Netherlands. This is Operation Market Garden. So this was like another paratrooper intended way of kind of cutting the Nazi war machine supplies and all that stuff off, and it was not successful. Operation Market Garden was not historically successful, but the bridge was part of it, and now I'm at the last piece, and it's called Arnhem something. I mentioned the music was written by Michael Giacchino. This is one of the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard in this level. However, I've now heard this piece of music for probably 2 hours. I can't beat this level. Brant, there are no checkpoints in this video game.
Oh.
It's a learn as you go or restart, and I'm okay with this. Like, I know how this goes. Yeah. And part of the hooks in it is like, okay, I learned from that. Don't do that. Don't, use your sniper here. Maybe don't step out right here. They're going to get you. Make sure you get the health or conserve ammo. Like there's an element to learning how to play these pieces because there's no checkpoints. You restart the level. I did it with the bridge a couple times. The bridge is not a super long level, and some of the times it was just like I mentioned with the geometry, like trying to jump around the level and figure out where to go. I fell off the bridge. I think I'm just turning around, but and I'm like, you cross your fingers. Like sometimes he'll have enough health, and then I see the character like. It's not quite the James Bond, like blood coming down the screen as the character falls, but you see him like start to go backwards, and I'm like, damn it, I'm starting this thing over again. I'm at the end of this level. I had to get this fucker out to see if I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. This is the Prima strategy guide, Medal of Honor Frontline, Prima's official strategy guide. Can you handle the front line is the tagline on the back. And as of right now, no, I cannot. There's a tank at the end of this level, and what you're doing, it's got a lot of the vertical sniping, I guess is what you could call it, or vertical gunplay. And you're going in between these buildings, and this piece of music is playing, and this soundtrack is on like Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that. Go listen to this track. I'm pretty sure it's just called Arnhem. I think the map is called Arnhem Nights, but it's haunting. Yeah, the song is just called Arnhem, and it's so good. It plays in the background, but it's like it's an orchestral score. It feels like you're playing Saving Private Ryan when you go through this level and you're hearing the music and stuff. But there's a tank at the end of this thing, and I can't kill this tank. I've beat another tank earlier in the level, and I can do it consistently. I don't know what I'm doing with this one. And I went into the battle with full health. I've got this rocket. It's a tank buster weapon. I've got 10 shots, and I think I've put 6 or 7 into the tank and not killed it before it kills me. And I can't bring myself. I did it once last night. I got all the way to that tank again, and I died. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. I got to put this down. And I started to set it down, and it asks you, like, continue or quit. I know if I hit continue, I'm starting back over. I'm like, fuck, I'm already down here. Let's do this. Died in the same spot.
Oh.
And earlier that night, I had sent to Mark's night. He and friend of the show, Chill Mills, are big friends of this one, big fans of this one. And I had already sent him, like, this game is a masterpiece. I miss games from this era. Like, this is absolutely our type of jam from back then. And then I think last night it just said, fuck this game. Yeah, you knew what it was going to be. You already knew what it was going to be. And he laughed at it. And I think he remembers this piece. But that's actually how he segued me into the Call of Duty one, because I had told him about the bridge mission. And he's like, I think there's a bridge in Call of Duty World War II. He remembers these campaigns. These work for him. Like, if I play, I'll remember main beats. But I could beat this game, and I've been playing it for, 3 or 4 weeks now. If I start it back in, like, 3 or 4 months, there'll be a lot of fresh stuff to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know how my brain works that way, but, like, if we go through the Halo campaigns, I'm going to remember some major story beats, but I'm also going to be like, oh, yeah, that part was cool. I don't remember doing that, and I've played those so many times. Oh, no checkpoints, so I'm getting so good at this map, all the way up until the fucking Panzer. Panzer Schreck is the weapon that you shoot it with, and I can't take this fucking thing down. I've got I was using this until very recently, and I mentioned finding this, there's a retail chain called Second and Charles, and they sell traded in goods. They also have, like, new music, movies, basically like a media play from back in the day, but you could trade stuff in. And I found this, probably 6 months ago, the Retro Fighters Defender wireless gamepad. And this works for, it comes with a dongle for PS2. It might work for PS1. I've never tried it because I play my PS1 games on my PS2. And it also works for PS3. So you can just pair it up with Bluetooth, and it works that way. And I found it for like $15. It was just listed as, like, third-party PS3 controller. But I knew what it was. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to gamble on this. I thought it was blinking lights at me, and I thought it was just out of juice. So I just plugged it in overnight. Something's wrong with it. I've got to deduce let me see if it'll do. That thing's not, the receiver's not plugged in, so it's not going to get anything.
Yeah.
But I can't get it to connect. It'll connect for, like, maybe 3 seconds, and I can hit a button, maybe to, like, pause Medal of Honor. And it goes into that, like, a sleep-looking existing thing. So I've got to research it. I have loved using this controller since I got it. The wireless, PS2 wasn't a wireless system. So that's been a great thing to have. And I've gotten a lot of use out of it. What's that?
We had we had Mad Catz wireless controllers and
yeah,
other third-party wireless controllers. They weren't the best, but we had those. And
I've got 2 for PS2, and I've got 4 of the Logitech Force, I think they were called. They were, like, the premier wireless controllers for PS2 and Xbox. They came with huge dongles. Like, it was a big dongle that came off of the system, and you could usually find the controller and you can't find the dongles, or vice versa. So, but I popped in. I've got plenty of PS2 controllers. PS2 controllers an upgrade over this Retro Fighters. The rumble's better. The sticks feel better. Yeah, I wasn't quite. I don't know. You joke about the Mad Catz, and we always knew third party was not as good as.
Yeah.
You had to have something like a Logitech or like a Hori. You knew if you got a Hori controller, that was a pretty solid substitute for various systems. But man, I plugged this thing in, and I'm playing a World War II game. It's like explosions going off everywhere, and I got sniper shots all the time, and it's a big improvement. And I sit close enough, like the wireless thing's not a big deal to me. I do want this one to work because I've enjoyed the flexibility of it, but that DualShock 2 is a hell of a controller. That's still a great way to play games of that era. So
you need to look into that one that I think Cesar was using, that Brook adapter or whatever.
The Wingman. Yep.
Yeah.
Wingman XE, I think, for that system. And it lets you, like, it converts PS5 DualShock, Switch Pro controller. It converts tons of stuff into other. There's still, like, a thing about using the original hardware if I have it. There will be a day when I don't have it, but I scooped up controllers over the years when I found them for like $5 or $6 before the days of the shop Goodwills and all that stuff. So I might just go that route for now. Like, I've actually got a Mad Catz Xbox controller hooked up to the original Xbox. But I've got, it's a Model 2 Saturn controller hooked up. I've got the DualShock 2. I've got 2 N64 controllers. I've bought great third-party repros of the Hordy one for those. And they're fantastic, but I've got 2 original N64 controllers hooked up there, so it always just feels right? But this was so convenient, and I wanted to get game time in, so I didn't spend a whole lot of time troubleshooting. Maybe there's just a simple thing that I've missed. I've charged it with that same USB-C cable and an adapter before, but like I said, maybe I'm just missing something.
I'm about to say, you may need to go on their website or something. They might have a firmware update or something for it too.
For it just to not, it just shit the bed. That's kind of random, right?
Yeah.
I'll see if anybody else has had the blinking lights. But that's it for me, Brant. Played some Old Man Halo with you and died continuously in Medal of Honor. I spent 2 hours playing that game, and my save file has moved forward not an inch in all that time. I'm getting really good at the first part of this level, though.
Same. I mean, I played the Old Man Halo with y'all, and the only other thing I dipped my toe in, I didn't spend a whole lot of time in, but I was very interested to see how this worked. Over the past week, there was a project that popped up, some new piece of 3DS homebrew. That is Pokemon Snap for the 3DS.
Really?
That somebody, this is a sole project of one person that he's doing. He's got very, minimal help. It's mostly one person doing the work here. He's recreating the entirety of the game in Unity for the 3DS.
Yeah.
So the part I played is that first introductory level, and then it goes, thanks for playing, this is the work of this person, which was it Manu Rocker 95, who has done this work here. They've let me try and see, where was it? They've added a bunch of features. Of course, they've got touch controls, stereoscopic 3D effects, amiibo support, gyro controls, and more. New routes and Pokemon not presented in the original game.
I gotta look this up.
New areas, fully localized, with a bunch of different languages. Credit scenes featuring all source and contributors during development. It is more geared toward the new 3DS hardware. I think most people that have tried it on the old 3DS hardware have been met with crashes. You can play it on emulation wise. I think I saw somebody doing that. There was just a toggle you had to enable that was making sure it was enable new 3DS, mode to get it running. And yeah, I mean, I like I said, I played through the first level, and it was freaking Pokemon Snap, and
that's crazy.
I don't even think I tried the 3D. I need to do another and just kind of play around with it and see all the different features. But just moving around in it, it was the attention to detail and recreating it completely was very impressive.
It is. This begs for gyro, right? Like that's the perfect control method for this. This is extremely well done.
Yeah. I definitely suggest supporting this project or checking it out, however you can.
Yeah.
It's it's a pretty cool little thing that this person did.
Can you take your 3DS into Blockbuster and print out the pictures that you take? Pokemon Snap.
It was they had those kiosks. They had them in Blockbuster and I think McDonald's? Yeah. McDonald's back in the day, you could do that.
We both think we know this. I think that we know this. Yeah, this looks great. I wasn't sure when you mentioned it. Like, is this a new project or? Yeah, the textures look interesting. They're definitely N64 textures on this.
Oh yeah.
This was Mark's Knight and I got our N64. We got Mario Kart and we got this game with it.
I know you've got that 2DS. You need to mod one of your 3DSs if you have multiple.
I do.
You do. Ooh, yeah.
I have a new 3DS. I don't know if I want to tinker around with that one or there's no downside to it, right? Sailing with it.
No, yeah, that's might as well do it now.
Right? What else am I gonna do with it? Yeah, this looks good. I can play some Pokemon Snap.
Some Pokemon Snap and some Old Man Halo. That's all I got to tinker with.
How was before we get out of here? How was did you play the Switch Pokemon Snap?
No, I don't. I actually don't even own that one.
I don't think I have it either.
I need to go ahead and buy that one.
New Pokemon Snap.
I heard decent things about it, but
new Pokemon Snap. All right, Brand, is that it for us?
I think that's it, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.